Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk, and I am your host, C Money. And once again, Happy New Year's to everybody. This is my, I guess, second show into the New Year's. I did my first show, as you know, back in Orlando a day or two ago. Um, I want to talk about this thing that's been going viral. I want to talk about the Waffle House incident. If you don't know, look it up. It was an incident where a Waffle House employee was attacked by customers. I was reading up on it, and what it was saying that there was a Waffle House in Georgia that was busy, and as you know, since COVID, a lot of places have been understaffed. So there was customers that came in the Waffle House, and there was a section of the Waffle House that was closed off, and the customers sat in that section, and the employees said no, they cannot sit in that section. It's closed off, but can you wait on another table, wait to be seated because that section is closed off? They said no, they're gonna sit here anyway. So the employee was assisting other customers and was not serving them, which my opinion she had the right not to serve them because that was a section that was closed off. So then the customers got up and started being very rude and disrespectful to the employee that was there, and apparently the customer threw a chair at the employee, and I guess the employee caught the chair. I mean, I've seen the video, but I've seen like videos, but there's always be Waffle House fights. And so the video went viral after, the customer threw the chair and she caught the chair without the chair getting hit at her. And from what I was told, that the employee has gotten fired and got blacklisted from Waffle House, meaning that she could never work at another Waffle House. Now, I want to know what's your opinion about this. Email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment at the bottom of this page as well. Now, here we go, what I think about this. First of all, those customers should have been arrested because you insulted a restaurant employee. You threw a chair, and from what I was told in when I was reading on, they went across the counter into the cooking part and the serving part of the they went across the counter in the employee part. Those people or customers should have been arrested. I don't think that the employee should have been fired. Because the only way the employee should have been fired is if they fired the first lick. She kept her cool and kept her calm. Number one, she had the right not to serve them. Because if let's say for instance, I'm working at a restaurant, you're coming into my restaurant, due to COVID or due to safety protocols, if a section of the restaurant is closed off, because during COVID, even though this didn't happen during COVID, this happened like probably late last year, during COVID, with a restaurant, part of the restaurant is cut off and they tell you not to sit there, they have the right to refuse service to you if you're not obeying their rules. Because if they tell you that this side of the restaurant is closed, they have the right to refuse service to you because you're not supposed to be sitting in that section. So she was taking care of other customers. Then you get upset and get mad at the waiter or waitress or whoever it was, and then you started attacking this person. First of all, you was in the wrong in the beginning. They told you have to wait until a seat is available to be seated because that part of the restaurant is closed off. In my trip to Georgia that I did earlier last year, I actually went to a Waffle House and it was crowded. Even though we got our food to go, there really wasn't that many seats available because most Waffle Houses are about as the size of a kitchen, a regular house kitchen. Because when you go inside most Waffle Houses, they don't have they maybe have 30 to 40 seats. Whether you go to a regular restaurant where you have like 90 to 100 seats or so, a regular Waffle House seats about 30 to 40 people, and that's a regular Waffle House. I've been inside of a Waffle House, and I've drove by Waffle Houses, You know, when I was in Orlando this past weekend, there was a Waffle House down the street, and you can see by the size of the outside that it's a small Waffle House, because you know that most of the area, most of the space that takes up the Waffle House is the kitchen area. You know, the Waffle House I went to in Atlanta, which was in East Point, it was right down the street from my hotel. Um, it was actually literally like crowded, and we was getting our food to go, and we had to, stand up. It's not, you know how most people, they order their food and then they sit down and wait till their food get done ready, and then they pick it up and leave. No, we had to stand up and wait because it was crowded. So if you, and their Waffle Houses are more popular in Georgia and in the northern part of Florida, because like down here, there's not many Waffle Houses down here, but as you go, like Waffle Houses is more popular on traveling. Like when you go on the interstate, or if you go on a turnpike or something like that, you're going traveling, you see more Waffle Houses as you go north on, and it's more popular because there's, so, and a lot of people like the Waffle House. I've experienced it one time and I love it. But my thing is about that, if it's crowded, you gonna have to wait till you being seated. Now I can't tell you the location of this Waffle House because I didn't get that information. Yeah, I know it's in Georgia, and most 9 times out of 10 it was probably in Atlanta or one of the main cities of Georgia, because Atlanta is the main city of Georgia. Then you got the other cities like Savannah and Valdosta and Albany, and major cities and stuff. But it to me, it's like, respect these restaurants. Number one, you have a lot of these restaurants. Like when I was in Orlando, me and my friend had went to TGI Fridays for lunch, which is right, literally, if you've ever been to Star Island, there sits outside of the entrance of Star. Like as soon as you turn in to get to Star Island, you see the TGI Fridays right there. It's not part of the hotel because it sits on Front Street, but it's right there by the entrance of the hotel. So when we went inside, they only had one waiter, even though it wasn't crowded and it was like daytime, like 12, 1 in the afternoon. It was like, okay, yeah, they only had one waiter, but she was doing good. And I didn't mind waiting on my food because I thought our food came out a little bit long. But the service there, she did good because it was only one waiter. I'm quite sure, around 6, 7, 5, 6, 7 in the evening, they get more waiters and servers in there because it may not be busy in the daytime. But Waffle House, they stay busy. Like we went in the daytime at a Waffle House, like in the morning, and it was busy. So I know how Waffle Houses is. So I send my heart out to the Waffle House employees, because I've seen several videos of people fighting inside Waffle Houses. Like there's always a fight in Waffle House, and I'm like, y'all have to realize something about these Waffle Houses. Number one, they're not big Waffle Houses. They're not like McDonald's. McDonald's can hold like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, close to 90, customers in certain McDonald's. The max you can probably hold at a Waffle House is maybe 30 to 40 people. That's the max. And number two, it stays busy. Number one, Waffle Houses are not big. I've seen most of the Waffle Houses. They are not big. Number two, they stay packed because everybody goes to Waffle Houses. So that's why you see more up the road, because they're more of a countryside, black delicacy in the urban areas and stuff. So they stay busy, and I've experienced it for myself. Number three, short staff, because now during COVID, I've seen a lot of restaurants, McDonald's, Burger King, Denny's, TGI Fridays, Chili's. A lot of these restaurants, they're still hurting from the pandemic because they don't have enough employees. So they're still trying to get employees to come. Even a lot, like I've said in my previous video, if you looked at one of my previous videos, a lot of these businesses are offering sign-in bonuses. Like you get, like McDonald's is offering $300 for employees to come work with them. You get $300 sign-in bonus. Miami-Dade Transit, which is the public transportation system down here, to drive a bus, they give you $5,000 bonus just to apply and get hired as a bus operator, because they're hurting badly with bus operators down here. So a lot of these places are still hurting from the pandemic because they don't have enough workers. And if you only have 2 people working the counter, you have to work with those 2 people, And also, if you only got one cook or two cooks and they doing like 5 and 6 orders at a time, you gotta, you know, be patient with these cooks. You know, they can only work so much. And that's the thing I don't like about people when it comes to restaurants. You get in these restaurants and you think that, oh yeah, because I'm here, they gonna get my food out like that. You have to realize, even during before the pandemic, if there's only 2 people working at this restaurant, you have to be patient that these people are doing the best that they can to get the orders in and to get the food out and to get the drinks out and to get everything done. You know, you can't be mad at these people. Oh, I've been waiting here 20 minutes and 30 minutes. No, you have to realize there are people that was ahead of you to and getting these orders, and you have to be patient for getting their orders out. You know, and a lot of these people are not patient. What happened with those people that was at that Waffle House was they was upset because they wasn't getting served service. And you have to realize you're sitting in a non-open section, meaning that section was closed. So of course you're not going to get service because the lady's telling you not to sit in this section. So you actually are going to sit in the section that's closed off. So she's going to tend to other customers. I'm not going to sit up here and serve somebody if I tell you that section is closed and you still sit in that section. I'm not going to serve you when I can get in trouble because my boss or my manager can come in and say, why are you serving these people in this section that's closed? Now, if the boss come in here and say, why these people sitting in that section, and you say, I told them that this section was closed and they refused to listen to me and they still sat there, then it's not your fault. But if you go and serve these people in that closed section and your boss come in and tell you, why are you serving these people in that section's closed, then you can get in trouble. So she or that person was not wrong for doing that because they said that section is closed. You have to wait until there's a seat available, and they disobeyed the rules of the restaurant and they went along and sat there. So by you disobeying the rules, I'm not going to serve you until you sit in the area that is an area that you're supposed to be sitting in to be served. You know, they were just some, I didn't want to say it, but there was some ghetto people or some rude ghetto urban people that just wanted to just be rude and nasty because if I come in a restaurant and you tell me that this section is closed, I've been in restaurants where you can't even enter the restaurant. You got to order your food at the front door. Or I've been in restaurants where you can enter and order your food, but the dining section is closed. Or I've been in restaurants where even before COVID, they have only certain parts of the restaurant open because they don't have, you know, it's like certain parts is maybe a private area for like private parties, or like they only use that section if the restaurant gets too crowded and they don't have enough seats, then they open up that section. You know, I done been in restaurants like that. And I don't know what was the case with this Waffle House, but you have to realize, regardless of what it is, if they have a section of that restaurant closed, then that means don't sit in that section. I admit, maybe it was wrong for Waffle House to have that section closed off because if you've ever been in a Waffle House, like I told you, Waffle House are not big restaurants. You can hold maybe 20 to 30 people, 40 at the max, depending on, you know, as customers. Now, the restaurant, Waffle House I went to in Atlanta, maybe close to 30 people can sit in that restaurant because they didn't have enough seats. And majority of the seats are at the counter. They don't have too many booth seats and regular seats because most of their seats are at the counter, and that's where they serve them. So if you go to a section that's closed off, respect the restaurant and say, okay, this is closed off, let's go over here and go sit over here so we can get served, because their person was right not to serve y'all in a section that was closed off, because then that's going to give other people the reason to say, well, if they can sit there, I can sit there. You know, why they being served in the section that's supposed to be closed off, and when they come they get served, but I got to sit here when, so it's not right for other customers as well. So she wasn't wrong. Now, being blacklisted at Waffle House, first of all, I'm going to tell you this. If one Waffle House fires me, you think I would try to go get a job at another Waffle House? You fire me because of what a customer did to me, and then I'm going to try to go get a job at another Waffle House? No, I'm going to feel like that company is a bad company to work at. You know? Like I told you, I don't know if I told you the story about Winn-Dixie, when I worked at Winn-Dixie. at one point when Dixie was sued for being racist to African Americans, and they had a lawsuit against African American women because they was racist, and then there was another lawsuit about not promoting African Americans in the business of as managers and stuff like that. And when I worked at Winn Dixie, I was a teenager at the time, and partially it was my fault, partially it wasn't my fault. There was a customer that came in. Back in the day, they had the little WIC checks. I don't know if they still do it, like the little WIC checks that tells you what specific items that you need in for a WIC check. So I clocked in and I helped the worker with their WIC, order. And then I was like, let me get one of the stock people to go into the back and serve the, stuff like that, and see if they have stuff in the back, in stock. Because I wasn't a stock boy, I was a customer service clerk, which is Winn Dixie's version, name of saying bag boy. So, I was helping the car. I said, no, they don't have it on the shelf. Let me ask one of the stock people to go check in the back and see if they have it. Because, with WIC, when they had them WIC checks, you only had to get the specific items that was on that check. You couldn't get nothing else because that was the only item. So, I was helping them out or whatever. They came out saying that, I was on the phone for 20 minutes, and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. It was a lot. So, they ended up firing me. It was a Caucasian lady, that said it, and they fired me. I was a teenager. I was young at the time. I didn't know, it was one of my first paid jobs. So, I was like, okay, whatever. But at the time, I didn't know it. People was like, oh, yeah, they are still discriminating against African Americans. You need to get on that, because everybody was saying get on the lawsuit. And then after a while, it ended up they was discriminating against African American women. And then years later after that, I heard that they, 3 men tried to was supposed to be up for promotion at Winn Dixie, and they didn't get it because they was black, and then they went to court and sued Winn Dixie, and they won the lawsuit, and that's why one of the reasons why Winn Dixie was going down here because of that. And I'm like, yeah. So if I was to do that for Waffle House and say, why would this Waffle House fired me after this person threw a chair at me and attacked me? Did they get arrested? I don't know if the people got arrested. But my thing is, why would you fire me after somebody else attacked me? And then you get blacklisted from working at any other Waffle House? My first thing with that person was, I would have never worked at Waffle House ever again. Because number one, the customers in there can be rude, and I've been inside of a Waffle House. The way that the Waffle House is packed, I wouldn't be surprised if the customers are or aren't rude. Now, they didn't get my order 100% right. But I understand it's a Waffle House. You got too many orders going in, and you got too much going down, and then stuff like that. So a lot of these employees that work at these Waffle House are dealing with rude customers, are dealing with 5 and 6 orders at a time. They have to be dealing with people who are impatient. So you got to look at these things and say, hey, why is this going down? So for me, I look at it as if I don't understand why they blacklist this person from working at this Waffle House. Sorry if the lighting is bad. Let me put up a little bit. But I don't understand why they blacklist this person from a Waffle House. From working at any Waffle Houses. Because for me, I feel as if, number one, it wasn't her fault that she got arrested. That she got fired. It wasn't her fault that the people attacked her. It was the simple fact is that y'all looking at something that is truly different. Excuse me 1 second. Let me go where it's a little bit more light. I know y'all can't see I'm going where it's a little bit more light. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know that it was that dark in that area. But anyway, I'm looking at it as if you blacklisted this person from working at any Waffle House. That person's instinct should have been, I'm not working at another Waffle House ever again. And my second instinct is, I would sue Waffle House for wrongful termination. Because now you're looking at a suit that says, okay, I actually was not in the wrong. And when I was looking at some of the comments that people were saying, yeah, that person wasn't in the wrong. Because of the fact that you're sitting up here saying that this person was in the wrong because the customers attacked her. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if she went back and attacked and defended herself and attacked her back to the customers. Now that I would have said, okay, you're gonna get suspended for attacking the customers. Your My first instinct was to call the police because here's what I would have did if it would have went down. Number one, if I tell you to not sit in the seat and you still choose to sit there, my first instinct is to get a manager. Now, if the manager comes and say this section of the restaurant is closed off and you still disobey, call law enforcement, and then let law enforcement handle it. They went and started attacking her or that person because they got refused service in an area that was supposed to be closed off. Yes, you get refused service because, like I said earlier, if I start serving you in an area that's closed off, every other person that I told that the area was closed off is going to get mad and they're going to feel like, well, you refused me and told me I couldn't sit in that area, but then they come over there and sit down and then you served in that area, then it's going to cause an issue. And if it's the restaurant's policy that that section of the restaurant is closed, then you're not supposed to be sitting in that area. It's just that they sat in that area thinking that they can do what they want to do despite what the restaurant said about the area being closed. So she was not wrong. That person was not wrong. My thing is, why did it have to escalate to her getting her job terminated and blacklisted? Because to me, a lot of these places are hurting. And you're letting these people go. Now, these people, ain't going to want to work for your car. I would have sued for wrongful termination. And I wanted the company to come out and say, what's the reason why she got terminated? I would show the court the video and say, look, these people attacked me. All because I wouldn't serve them in the area that was supposed to be closed off to the customers. So now they attacked me because they got refused service. And then I got fired because they threw a chair at me. Now, I don't know if the customers got arrested or I don't know what happened as far as that. I'm going to do more research into watching that. But my thing is, why is it that an employee should get fired for another customer's reaction? I've seen it plenty of times where employees get fired for customers' nasty reactions and customers' nasty actions and customers' rudeness and customers disrespecting. And I've seen it a lot of times. And I'm like, you can't fault these people for getting fired because of customers' reactions. I have much respect for the restaurant industries and the restaurant workers. I have much respect for a lot of these people that work in these industries that have to deal with rude and ungrateful and disrespectful people. I have much respect for them because day after day when you come into these establishments, you see these people and some of these people don't have the patience to wait. Like when I went to TGI Fridays, I'm like, our food was taking longer than usual, but maybe it was only one cook in the back that was doing 3-4 orders at a time. We only had one waiter that was taking care of 3 and 4 tables at one time. So I respected her. And my friends say she's doing good for her. She's doing good to be the only waiter. And I say, yeah, because she had to seat the people and she also had to wait on them and serve them. And I was like, yeah, I agree. This is something that's really, hey. So I want to know what y'all think about this. Do you think that the Waffle House was wrong for terminating her? Do you think that was right for terminating her? What are your intakes on the video? If you haven't seen the video, go look up Waffle House video incident. There are several Waffle House incidents that happen. So, but this one, it takes the cake that you've been blacklisted as not able to work at another Waffle House again. And to me, I would have never went back to another Waffle House. I would have just said, "Bunk y'all, you fired me from this Waffle House. I'ma sue y'all and everything like that." So what do y'all think about this? Do you think that they was wrong for firing her? Do you think they was right for firing her? Even if the girls got arrested or not got arrested, do you think, what I'm saying? Because to me, with the employee, I would have sued the Waffle House company. I would have pressed charges on the customers that attacked me. Then I would have sued the customers because from what I was told, she stopped the chair from getting hit to her. I would have let the chair hit me and then sued the customer for hitting me with the chair and got my medical expenses paid. This person is looking at a lot of money coming to them because you got wrongful terminated from the job. Then you can press charges on the customers. It's a lot. So it's like now you got a lot coming to you. Because you know, some people, when they get fired and they got wrongful termination, oh, I got fired, I'm just going to look for another job. No, 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 no. If you got terminated and it's not your fault, you have every right to sue the company. You have every right, especially with something like this, when a customer attacks you and then you ended up getting fired after a customer attacks you. No, 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 no. I'll be like, look, let me get the suing papers. Let me go to Morgan and Morgan, Johnny Cochran Law Firm, wherever, you know, I can go. Let me get a lawyer that's going to sue, that's going to give me some money, that's going to help me win this case. Because, baby, I ain't finna lose my job and then I get back. Because now, even though you got fired from that job and then you got blacklisted from all the other Waffle Houses, that can go on your record, and a lot of these people can look at you and say, your video went viral. You was in a fight with a customer. We don't want you at that job. Now a lot of these companies are going to look at it and say they don't want you at their job because you got into a dispute with a customer, even though it wasn't your fault. That's just like saying you working at a law firm or you working at a doctor's office and you know, somebody died on your in your care and it wasn't really your fault, but they died in your care, and now you go to another hospital or another doctor's office and say, oh, we don't want you working because we heard that Mrs. Johnson died in your hands and we don't want none of our patients dying because I don't want the family to sue us for medical malpractice or something. But it wasn't your fault that the person died because they probably died of natural causes, or they couldn't handle the surgery, or something happened and they couldn't handle the medication or something. So now the family is going to sue you because, or the person, or you know, and then you try to go to another practice, you know, and it's like, wow, we're not going to hire you. So now that's going to look bad on this person. So that's why I say I don't understand, you know, why they do this, because now that can go on your record as if, okay, oh, this person, because you know, when you go and get hired and you put your last job, and then sometimes they ask you what was your reason for leaving the last job, and you put terminated, they're going to want to call that job and ask why you got terminated. And so 9 times out of 10, the job may or may not tell you a good legitimate reason, because they're going to want to know why you got terminated from your last job, you know. And the job may say, oh, because they got into it with another customer, and they're not going to tell you the real reason why. So they're going to say, well, we're not going to hire you because you got into an altercation with a customer last time, so we're not going to hire you. But the job is not going to say, oh, they got into an altercation, but it wasn't their fault, it was the customer's fault, but due to the altercation we had to terminate. They're not going to say all that. They're just going to say, oh, we got into an altercation with somebody else. So now that's going to look bad on your end, on the person's end. What do you think about this? Email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment at the bottom of this page. And I want to know your comments about this situation. Do you think that this was right? Do you think that this was wrong? I'm going to see if I can do an update on this, because I feel like it was wrong to beginning, that she shouldn't have got fired, that they should have probably suspended her if she counter attacked and defended herself. They should have just suspended her. She was not wrong for refusing her service, you know, stuff like that. Because if you terminated her because she refused them service, no, she was not wrong for refusing them service. They were sitting in the area that was closed off and the restaurant was, so she wasn't wrong for refusing them service. So email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment at the bottom of this page if you've known any incidents like this that you have seen or experienced, or if you have any videos of this. Please, you can email me these pictures and these videos, or you can send a link to the videos and stuff to things that, you know, because this is just this is not an ongoing, this is an ongoing thing, because there's plenty of fights that goes on in the Waffle House. So I just want to know how y'all feel about it. You know, I am your host, C Money. I thank y'all for watching this. This is my first commentary video of 2023, and there's more to come. Happy New Year's to everybody. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay stay safe, because you never know what may out here. To all my restaurant workers, all my food service workers, my hearts go out to you, because I know this is something that occurs often, where customers get upset and get rowdy, and they get attitudes because their order is not right, and they have anger management. So I understand. This is the Round Table Talk. I'm your host, C Money. I'll see you in the next episode.